New information has emerged that changes the balance of this war. Iran has started urgently seeking help from Russia to sustain its military capability and try not to lose its leverage over the Strait of Hormuz. According to the Financial Times, Moscow is close to completing phased shipments to Tehran, including lethal weapons, drones, food, and medicine. At the same time, at the G7 meeting, European leaders accused Russia of helping Iran with intelligence, drone improvements, and military support. Sergei Lavrov denied sharing intelligence, but admitted that Moscow supplied military equipment to Iran. This request for help isn't a coincidence. It appears at a time when Tehran is suffering a direct blow to its naval structure. The United States confirmed on March 26 the death of Alireza Tangsiri, the naval commander of the Revolutionary Guard, who was killed in an attack. He's a key figure because the war at sea has become one of the most sensitive points of the conflict. What's at stake is not just a dispute between Iran, the United States, and Israel. Hormuz is a vital passage. About a fifth of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas passes through there. When the strait is blocked, the shock isn't limited to the Middle East. It affects ships, insurance, freight, and fuel. Inflação em várias partes do Reuters itself reported that the war almost paralyzed shipments along the route. And Barclays sees a risk of losing 13 to 14 million barrels per day if the blockade continues. That's why the latest developments are drawing so much attention. According to the United States Central Command, more than 10,000 targets have already been hit inside Iran, and 92% of the largest Iranian ships have been destroyed. At the same time, the Pentagon confirmed it. The use, for the first time in war, of unmanned drone boats in maritime patrols during the conflict. How this was done with a combination of airstrikes, naval pressure, intelligence, and autonomous technology. In summary, Washington is trying to stifle Iran's ability to operate at sea without relying solely on manned ships. It was in this context that Donald Trump said he had received a great gift from Iran. According to Reuters, this gesture was the release of 10 oil tankers through the Hormuz route. Along the same lines, the White House announced an extension of the pause in attacks on Iranian power plants until April 6. How should we understand this move? The United States maintains maximum pressure militarily, but leaves the door open to a deal. But why? Peace still seems distant because both sides continue to demand too much. The American proposal, sent to Iran by Rousseff through Pakistan, includes the removal of highly enriched uranium, an end to enrichment, cuts to the ballistic missile program, and a reduction of Iranian support for armed groups in the region. Iran, on the other hand, called the plan unilateral and unfair, demanded a permanent end to the war, compensation for damages, and continued to defend its sovereignty over Hormuz. In other words, there is an exchange of messages, there is mediation, but there is still no deal. Russia also appears at the center of this crisis. This Thursday, European authorities said that Moscow has been helping Tehran with satellite images and drone upgrades, which, according to them, strengthens attacks against American forces and regional targets. The Kremlin denies it. Even so, the topic became a matter of open pressure at the G7 meeting. This changes the situation because it shows that the war is no longer just a local battle. It already mixes the Middle East, the war in Ukraine, rivalry between powers, and competition for strategic routes. Who's at the center of this? Iran, the United States, Israel, mediators like Pakistan, and indirectly, Russia and the European powers. In the end, the message of this shift is clear. Iran is urgently seeking help from Russia because it needs to catch its breath at a time when its military structure is under heavy pressure, and its ability to maintain control. Hormuz has become the main bargaining chip for political survival. Russia enters this equation because it can offer military support, technology, intelligence, and time, and Hormuz remains at the center of it all. Because that's where Iran still tries to show that, even cornered, it can hurt the world economy and force its adversaries to negotiate. That's why the war has entered an even more tense, more delicate, and more dangerous phase.